All right, team, so we're gonna start off this routine with some belly breathing. This is gonna feel a little different because most of the time when you guys are used to breathing, you're used to breathing in your chest. But for our entire mobility routine, I want you to pay attention to how you're breathing. So we're really gonna warm up our diaphragm breathing, which is, again, what I call our belly breathing. So what we're gonna do is lying on our back here, keep your knees bent, hands on your stomach. We're gonna take a nice big inhale. You're gonna try and blow up your stomach like a balloon. And then on the exhale, drop your belly button to the mat. So we're just gonna keep going here at your own pace. Inhale, blowing up your stomach like a balloon. And then exhale, drop your stomach to the mat. We're just gonna keep going here. And then as you're doing this, try to inhale as much as you can. And we're gonna go last one. And relax. Okay, so we're moving into our sunrise arm. So from here, bottom leg's out straight, grab onto that top knee. That top arm reaches in a huge half circle. Eyesight follows the hand and come back to center. Keep it moving here. As big of a half circle as you can make. And back to center. Make sure you're breathing here. We're gonna go last one. And then we're gonna flip to the other side. Again, grabbing onto that top knee, reaching that arm as big as you can, and back to center. And you might notice a big difference if you're anything like me. I'm much tighter on one side, so on this left side here, than the right. So just keep it moving. Huge half circle, breathing through this movement. Let's go a few more here. And last one. And relax. All right, team, so starting on our knees, we're gonna go into a child's pose here. And then I'm gonna have you guys come forward and then into a chest opener. So you're just reaching as far back with that eyesight. I like to wiggle around in this movement a little bit. And then you're gonna round your back and head back into that child's pose. Again, when you're in this position, you can wiggle around a little bit if that's comfortable. And then I round my back, coming forward into that chest opener. And back into that child's pose. And then just move in and out of this at your own pace. Make sure you're breathing. Let's go a few more here. And let's go one more, since this one feels so good. Nice big chest opener. And relax. Okay, we're gonna go into a thread the needle. So from this position, you're gonna wanna start on all fours. Take one hand, reach it through that open space, and then you just crawl that arm out as far as you can. I love this one. You should feel a nice big stretch on that shoulder. Breathe. And then we'll come back up to center, going on the opposite side. And then you guys can just alternate at your own pace. You can stay in it for a second if it feels good. I like to think of pressing the floor down with that bottom hand so I can get a little bit more of an intense stretch. Let's go last one on this side. And relax. All right, heading back into our all fours position. We're gonna do some hip circles here. So the goal is to see how big of a circle you can create with that knee and then coming back. So we're just gonna stay on one side here. Huge circles. And then again, team, make sure you guys are breathing as you're going in and out of these moves. All right, last one. And switching, going to the opposite side. Let's go a few more here. Last one. And relax. Okay. All right, team, we're gonna move into some knee drops. So from here, you guys are dropping your knees to the mat. Then you're gonna reach over as far as you can, get a nice glute stretch, come back up, try to keep your hands up, drop your knees to the other side, reaching over, get a nice big glute stretch. You can go as fast or as slow as you want. Ideally, you are under control the entire time as we go in and out of this movement. Let's go one more on the other side. And relax. Okay, team, we're moving into a push-up plank position. From here, you're gonna go back into your down dog. Ideally, your heels are relatively close to the mat. I can't get them on the mat. And then we're gonna move forward, bring a knee to the elbow, down into our pigeon. Now from here, some of you guys may be tight already here, but if you have the mobility, let's try to tap our nose to the mat, nice and slow. Come on back into our down dog. And then opposite knee, coming forward, tapping your nose to the mat, coming up, and moving in and out of that at your own pace. Remember, everything here is pretty slow and controlled. It's not about how many reps we get. And if you're not tapping your nose to the mat, that's totally fine. You're just going somewhere in that direction. All right, team, we're gonna go one more time each side. And relax. Okay, so we're moving into our hip flexor stretch. From here, your knees are at 90-90. Most important thing is that you tuck that tailbone under, squeeze the glute of that bottom knee. From here, we're gonna use our arms to drive the hips forward and then come back to neutral. Now, one of the most important things is as you guys drive the hips forward, don't let go of that glute squeeze and come here. So again, keep that tailbone tucked, glutes squeeze nice and tight, hips go forward, arms go back. I'm gonna spend about 20 seconds on each of these. Let's go with 2 more here. And then we're gonna go in opposite direction. I'm gonna spin forward so you guys can see this. So in that same position, from here now, you're gonna go up and over side to side. The goal is to really see how far you can get the hips going side to side. So if I was in a narrow hallway, I'm trying to tap my hips side to side on the walls. Let's go one more time each side. And then we're gonna go into rotation here. So the goal is not exactly about how far the arms can rotate, it's how much you can get those hips to rotate here. Make sure we're breathing. Let's go a few more. And then we're gonna switch. So we're gonna left knee down, same thing, really tuck that tailbone, squeeze the glute. Arms go back, hips go forward. You can have that bottom toe down, or you can have it up, whatever's more comfortable for you guys. Let's go a few more here. And then we're gonna go into our reach up and over side to side, setting yourself up, reaching up and over. How far can those hips go side to side? Let's go one more time each side. And then into our rotation. A few more here. And relax. Okay, heading back into your down dog. In this position, you guys are gonna bring one foot forward, so towards the hand. If I have my right foot forward, that right elbow is trying to tap the floor. And then I'm gonna push out that right knee, rotating around. And then I'm gonna go back into my down dog. And now the left foot comes forward, tapping that left elbow towards the mat, pressing out that left knee, and alternating in and out of these. Remember, if you guys are coming forward and trying to tap that elbow, but you don't quite reach the mat, that's totally fine. You'll eventually get there, do not worry. All right, team, last one. And relax. All right, team, we're gonna go into a sumo squat. That's just a slightly wider than normal squat. Most important thing, your heels stay on the ground the entire time. Take those elbows, press out the knees. I like to wiggle around in this position. And then if you need a breather, just hands to the mat, coming up, getting a nice hammy stretch, and then back down. So again, making sure that those heels stay on the mat the whole time, pressing out those knees, wiggling around if that's comfortable, and then taking a little breather, reaching hands to the mat, hips to the sky, and back down. I'm just gonna stay here for about a minute. Make sure you're breathing. And you'll notice I like to wiggle around in all of my movements. I just really like to find space in those joints as I'm doing these. I don't really like to stay static at all. Let's go one more time. And relax. Okay, so we're coming back into our 90-90 position like we were in for our hip flexor, except for now you're gonna straighten out that front leg. Hands to the mat. So the goal here is to do a little cat-cow with your back. So you're gonna arch up and then come back down. As you're coming back down, you're trying to reach the tailbone out as far as you can. And you're gonna come back up into that arch and then reach that tailbone back behind you. You guys are definitely gonna feel a hamstring stretch here. Arching back up and then coming back down. Just make sure that this knee isn't locked out in this position. You guys want to have a little bit of a bend in that knee. For some of you guys that have tight hammies, you might need to have a little bit more of a bend. Let's go a few more here. So arching up and then coming back down. Last one, arching up and coming back down. All right, team, switching to the other side. So first find that 90-90, hands to the mat, leg out straight, arching up. And then back down, really trying to reach that tailbone back behind you. Arching up and back. You can go at your own pace here. Definitely use those hands for support. Let's Let's go a few more. Last one. And relax. Okay, heading into mid-back rotations here. One hand on the mat, the other hand behind your head, tapping elbow to elbow, and then you're gonna rotate around as far as you can. So eyesight follows that elbow, and then I'm taking this hand and pressing it into the mat, and then back down. So the more I press this left hand, the more it helps me rotate around and moving in and out of that. Making sure we're breathing. Let's go a few more here. Last one. And then we're going to go to the opposite side. Tapping elbow to elbow. Rotating around. Let's go two more here. And relax. Okay, so now we're going to go into a really wide child's pose. The width is just whatever you guys are comfortable with. You're going to reach those arms forward. I, again, like to wiggle in my movement, so you can wiggle back and forth. And then you're going to come forward into that chest opener. From here, tapping your toes slowly, side to side, and then back into your wide child's pose. Now again, if you guys are here and you can't tap them to the ground, just move as much as you can, as close to the ground as you can, and then bring them back down. The more you do this, the more movement you'll get. Eventually those toes will tap down. Let's go a few more here. Let's go one more time. And relax. All right, we're gonna go in and out of some squats, but then we're also gonna find a little rotation. So you're gonna reach your hand to the opposite toe, stand back up, hand to the opposite toe, and then back into your neutral squat. So keep moving in and out of this. Doesn't have to be fast. Again, everything is just under control. Going for about a minute here. And as you guys rotate around, try and look behind you as far as you can. But while you're doing that, pay attention to not letting that hip rotate out. So you're actually trying to keep the hips going back. You're just rotating around. And let's go one more time each side. And relax. Okay, we're gonna go into a little arm series here. So one is reaching over side to side, and then two is reaching behind. When you guys reach behind, the goal is not to move your hips with you. So from here, you're thinking hips face forward the whole time, and I'm rotating from that back position. Again, we're just gonna alternate. So one is up and over side to side, two, reaching behind. Again, it doesn't have to be fast here. We're actually trying to get a nice big stretch. So the slower, the better. Let's go a few more. One more time through. And relax. Okay, so we're gonna head into a little curtsy lunge. From here, your bottom knee is hovering, so it's next to the mat, but it's not on the mat. You're gonna take that knee and push it in, and then you're gonna reach that arm around. So we're gonna move in and out of this, push the knee in, reaching the arm around. Should feel a nice big glute stretch on that right side here. go last one on this side. And then switching. So we're gonna go reaching that right leg behind, grabbing on and pulling that left knee in, and then standing up. Let's go a few more here. And relax. Okay, so we're gonna head into a lateral lunge. From here, if I'm stepping to the right, my left hand goes on the ground, and I'm rotating that right arm open, stepping back to center. Then I'm gonna do a little rotation open. So on this one, I'm gonna step back, toes facing forward, toes facing out, plant that left hand, rotate open, and then always coming back to center. So we're gonna stay on this side, lateral lunge, and then rotating open. And then we're gonna go a few more. Let's go one more time each side on this one. Good, okay, then we're gonna switch. So that left leg is going down, right hand to the mat, left arm opens, coming back to center, and then rotating open. Let's go one more time each side. Relax. Okay, so we're gonna go for a quad stretch. You guys are gonna need 2 props here. You're gonna want a couch or a chair and a pillow. And then you're gonna wanna think of that hip flexor stretch that we did where our knee was down, our tailbone was tucked, and our glute was squeezed nice and tight. So from here, you're gonna make your way down, knee hits the mat, foot is on that bench. So from here, tucking that tailbone and squeezing the glute. If you're like me and you have tight quads, this is already an intense stretch. If you guys want to make it any more intense, keeping that tailbone tucked and the glute squeezed nice and tight, you can rock forward and back. But again, if you're anything like me, I can't get a lot of movement because this is already a really intense stretch. So I'm going to try and push my hips forward just a little bit and then come back. Make sure you're breathing here because when things are intense, we like to hold our breath. Let's go one more, slightly pushing those hips forward. I know it's hard for you guys to see. And then coming back, and then we're gonna switch, going onto the right side, so that right knee is down, right foot is on the bench, really tuck the tailbone, squeezing that right glute, and again, if you want it more intense, you can rock forward and back. Just making sure we're breathing. And then if you need just a slight little stretch and you're like me, you can just push those hips forward and back. But again, making sure that you're not letting go of that tailbone tuck. That right glute should be squeezed nice and tight. Let's go a few more here. Keep breathing. And relax.
Ready.
All right, we're gonna head into a really wide lunge. From here, making sure that your toes are pointing out and that your weight stays evenly in your feet. You're gonna reach your arm up and over as far as you can. While I'm doing that, I'm pressing out that knee with my elbow and then coming up to center, going the opposite direction. Press that knee out with your elbow. And then as you're comfortable with this, you can just get up and move side to side at your own pace. Again, every pace should be nice and controlled, so not too fast here. Sinking down into those hips. Weight is even in those feet. Let's go a few more side to side. Last one. And relax. Okay, so we're heading back down into our quad stretch. In this position though, instead of going forward and backwards, we're gonna go up and over side to side. So just remember, once you're down into this position, tailbone's tucked, That left glute is squeezed nice and tight. Now we're trying to get those hips to go side to side as far as they can, and those arms are helping to drive it. But again, it's less about the arms moving, it's more about whether or not we can get those hips to go side to side. Let's go a few more here. Good. Now we're going to go into that rotation. So again, same position here, trying to rotate. So arms are used to drive those hips. So we're rotating open and then rotating that hip closed here. A few more here and then we'll switch to that right side. And relax. Going right knee down. Tuck that tailbone, really squeeze that right glute. Going up and over side to side. Again, just imagine you're in a skinny hallway and you're trying to tap those hips side to side on those hallway walls. Let's go a few more here. And then we'll go into that rotation. Still squeezing that right glute super tight. Do not let go of that in that stretch. A few more. And relax. Okay, we're gonna do a little ragdoll stretch. So you guys are just gonna roll down. From here, you just wanna think of yourself as dead weight, rolling around and coming up to center, all the way down and around, and then going the opposite direction. Nice and slow. Let's go a few more here. Last one. And relax. Okay, so we're gonna do some scat push-ups. So scaps for your shoulder blades here. I'm gonna show you guys in this position. You guys are gonna think of separating your shoulder blades and then squeezing them together. So in this position, separating them and then squeezing them together. So basically thinking of doing a little push-up in between your shoulder blades. How we're gonna start this is going down into our child's pose. You're gonna round and come forward. So in this position now, you're gonna pause, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Notice my arms are still staying straight, so I'm not bending my arms, squeezing my shoulder blades together, and then pushing them apart as far as I can. We're gonna go 2 more here, squeezing them together, pushing them apart. 1 more, squeezing them together, pushing them apart, and then back down into your child's pose. Resting for 1 second here. Round that back, coming forward again. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, push them apart. 2 more. And then back into your child's pose. Let's go through this 1 more time. Round that back as you come forward, squeezing, pressing apart. And relax. Okay, we're gonna head down onto our stomach. Really important when you guys are here that you set yourself up by tucking that tailbone under, squeezing the glutes, and lying those feet flat. From here, thumbs are up towards the ceiling. You're gonna raise those hands off the ground, circle them around, tapping your glutes, coming back forward, and then in this position now, you're gonna bring those elbows down towards your sides. I like to think of this as a W position, reaching them forward. So then from here again, circling around, tapping our glutes, coming forward, thumbs are up, back into that W. If you are like me and you have stiff shoulders, make sure you are breathing because this is really difficult for us. Okay, one more time through. We're going into that W, circle around, and relax. Okay, we're gonna head down onto our stomach and into some scorpions. So from here, arms are out straight, taking one leg, trying to tap it as close to your side as you can. I like to hold it here for a second, trying to push that knee out, and then switching, going to the opposite side. And then just side to side as fast as you want, but if you stay in those stretches, you guys will get a little bit more out of it. Just making sure we're breathing. Let's go last one here. And relax. Okay, we are officially done with mobility. We are gonna end with some belly breathing. This time, I want you guys just to lie flat and I'm gonna talk you through trying to relax and just kind of thinking of melting into the floor as you wrap up this session. So from here, lying back, finding a comfortable position, eyes can be shut, whatever you're comfortable with. Take a nice big inhale. Try to think of blowing up that stomach like a balloon. And as you exhale, we're gonna start with our feet and just try to relax, let all the tension go. Nice big inhale. And as you exhale, we're moving up our legs, thinking of those calves, nice big inhale. Exhale, you're making your way up into your thighs. Literally as you're breathing, nice big inhale. Exhale, you're just imagining those thighs melting into the floor. And again, nice big inhale. And as you exhale, we're moving up into our glutes. Relax, maybe you wiggle around here. Again, nice big inhale. Traveling up into our low back. Holds a lot of tension there, so just thinking of nice and relaxing thoughts, melting into the floor, nice big inhale. Exhale, traveling up our body into that rib cage and into our chest. And as you exhale, you're traveling down your arms. And exhaling all the way out through those fingertips, any other stress that we may have. One more time, nice big inhale. Exhale, thinking of those shoulders and that neck. And again, nice big inhale. And exhale. Any tension you have left is going out through the top of your head. We're going to stay here for a few more breaths. Paying attention to how your body feels. Any areas that may be tight or are holding on to any tension. Every exhale, just thinking of letting that go and melting into the floor. A few more breaths here. Good work, team. We are officially done. Way to go.